Hey everyone, I hope you're doing really great today. Welcome to Meta Market Weekly. I'm Justin, along with your co-host Fernando, and we are really happy to be here. It's been a little bit of time. I was out for personal reasons, and so we had some scheduling conflicts and weren't able to make it, but we're back after a couple of weeks, and always good to talk with you, Fernando. How you doing, man?
Hey Justin, yeah, it's incredible to be back. Like you said, it's been a couple of weeks, almost like a month, but we're finally back. Very happy and excited to be a part of today's podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got a few things to talk about, but before we get on it, let's start by sharing a quick market analysis of what the market is doing right now. Let's see how Bitcoin is doing and see what we may expect of the market right now.
Cool.
Awesome. So as you can see here on this chart, I traced this line from a couple of weeks ago. This is pretty much what I'm expecting Bitcoin to be doing in the following weeks. And if we take a closer look at this formation, from my perspective, I believe this is what's going to happen. This looks to me like a head and shoulders pattern. And I'm gonna show you guys some images of what a head and shoulders pattern looks like. So, to me, it's very evident that it is very likely that this is going to be the scenario. For example, we can take a look at this head and shoulder graph,
Hmm.
and it's almost identical to what's happening to Bitcoin right now.
Hmm.
Or we could see this one, and usually after the next shoulder, there's a pull down. So at the end of the day, it's just technical analysis. I mean, it could go up, could go down. I personally think that this is going to happen because if we take a closer look at the RSI, we can also see that the RSI it's mid-range. I mean, it's not high. Just a reminder, if it gets to 70 points, it's overbought. If it goes to 30 points, it's oversold.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take a closer inspection to the previous cycle. And we can see here that after we reached the highest point of the bull market, we then touched the lowest point at an RSI of 30 points. And that has already happened, from this cycle on 2021, we reached the highest point. Then we touched the 30-point mark. And then we have like a quick bull rally, I'm sorry. And the market goes up and then it goes down again. And on the previous cycle, we had a rally, a bear rally, almost back to 30 points. And the reason why this happened is because we had a black swan event.
Mm.
And it didn't even touch the 30 points. It touched like somewhere around 34 points. And if we go to the previous cycle, that never happened. We
Mm.
we had some corrections, but never something as big as what happened on the previous cycle.
Mm.
So do I think there's gonna be a correction? Absolutely. I don't think it's gonna be as terrible as the one that we had on 2020. And the reason being what I just said, that I don't think that there's going to be another black swan event. There's a lot of positive things happening right now in the crypto market. So we'll see how it goes. In my personal opinion, if this scenario plays out, this is the lowest I can see the market going to this price range of between 20 and 19K. I personally do not see us going below this price range. And the reason why is because, like I've said, the RSI is going to go down and it's not going to go too low this time.
Mm.
And adding to what I just said, there's a lot of positive things going on the market, especially the ETF. So for those of you who do not know what an ETF is, for a lot of people, investing in Bitcoin and crypto is not as easy as it is. I mean, for me, it's totally easy. I know it's for you as well, Justin, and for most people it is. But we always have the people that they want to pretend like it's harder than it actually is.
Right.
So these people just prefer to buy a ETF because you're not actually buying Bitcoin. It's like buying a bond. You're buying a or an IOU. You're buying a piece of paper or a data in a computer saying that you owe a small amount of Bitcoin or a whole Bitcoin, but you're not really interacting with it. So, and I
It's
say
like
that,
buying Bitcoin through PayPal.
yeah, exactly, or eToro or Robinhood.
Yeah.
You're not really buying the Bitcoin. You're not interacting with the network. You don't really have the Bitcoin in your wallet or whatever. You're just buying, like a scoreboard that says, "Oh, you have one Bitcoin," but at any point, if whoever sold you that Bitcoin wants to steal it away from you or freeze it or whatever, they can do it. So
Yeah.
I personally think that it's very stupid for people to buy ETFs, but they'll do it anyway. So I mean, it's maybe not in the stock market because the stock market is the same thing. There's no blockchain. You don't really hold your assets. It's the same deal that you just have a scoreboard and it says, oh, you own two Apple stocks or 10, I don't know, Google stocks or whatever. But with blockchain, it's different. With blockchain, you actually have a digital file in the blockchain and you can store it, and the government cannot confiscate it as long as it's in the Bitcoin network, or it's in the Ethereum networks. But if it's a stable coin, I mean, it can still be confiscated. It's a complicated subject. I don't really want to go deep into it, and I know you and most of our viewers understand it. But anyways, what I was getting at with my comment is, let me show you a quick example of what happened in the past once a gold ETF was approved. So I believe the gold ETF was approved somewhere around 2008. And when this happened, gold went right away. It increased 350% after the first ETF was approved.
Hmm.
And this was in 2008. Let's take into consideration that the internet was just booming. There was no online banking. Facebook just started. There was no Instagram. The internet was in its very early stages. And yeah, so gold was able to go from here all the way up here. And now with Bitcoin, once the ETF is released, we have already a financial infrastructure and internet and online banking and so on for the price of Bitcoin to increase immediately and even beyond. So I think this is very positive. I think it is very positive. The market is going to be releasing an ETF for Bitcoin, and there's going to be several ETFs. I actually have a list here of the BC funds that are releasing a ETF. So we have here Blackrock, we have Bitwise, Banner, we have Valkyrie, Fidelity, Invesco, Galaxy. So if we combine the value of all these companies into one, we're talking about a market cap of about $50 trillion. So $50 trillion worth of assets are about to jump into the blockchain. And if we look at the market cap of the blockchain right now, it's at 1 trillion. So let's say that we get 10% of this market cap into the market. We're
Uh-huh.
talking about 5 to 6 trillions of dollars jumping into blockchain. This
Yeah.
would send the price of Bitcoin from 25K all the way to 150K. And this is gonna happening. It's gonna happen. It's happening right now. Actually, here, if you see the chart that I have on screen, so these companies have already they want to release the ETF from the market, but you and I and everyone, we already know how the SEC and the government is. It's all corruption. They have their own agenda,
Yeah.
and they're pushing the release. I believe that they're pushing the release because they're trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible before the ETF. because they know that the ETF is going to send the price of Bitcoin to the sky. So just a couple of days ago, I think this was on September 26th. So the Congress of the United States wrote a letter to the chair of the SEC, which is Gary Gensler, telling him that he needs to approve an ETF immediately. So he already got a direct order from Congress saying that, you know, all this clowning around has to end and they need to approve the ETF right away. So here we have a couple of deadlines. So apparently for this to happen, they have 4 deadlines, and, you know, 2 have already happened. The third deadline is going to be somewhere around October, November, December, and the final deadline is going to be early 2024, somewhere between January and March. So I am expecting, you know, if they keep postponing the ETF until the final deadline, which is Q1 of 2024, you know, they're going to have more time to accumulate. But it is already a given fact, you know, it's a done deal that this is going to happen. It's not a if it happens, it's a when it happens. And the when is a lot sooner than you're expecting. So this is going to be a massive boom for the cryptocurrency market. And, you know, I'm telling you, we're going to see it happen. You know, we're going to see Bitcoin reach 100K. And, you know, Bitcoin is like oil. If the price of oil goes up, you know, the price of everything goes up. If the price of oil goes down, the price of everything goes down. So same with Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin goes up, we're going to see Solana, we're going to see Meta One, we're going to see Binance Coin, we're going to see Phantom. We're going to see everything go up. And, you know, a lot of people, they're going to do a lot of excess on their current investment, and we're going to be back on the bull market. So amazing times ahead of us. And I don't know if you want to add to anything of what I just said, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this in the past, you know, just purely looking at like is this good for the price of crypto? Yeah, absolutely. Do I like all this corporate money coming into crypto? Absolutely not, personally. But it is going to do what you say it's going to do, and you know that's a lot of money from a lot of big
Yeah.
corporations. So definitely, I mean, if you are listening to this and you're purely kind of that kind of trader who is looking to make money, now this is definitely going to help you make money for sure. You know, that's what I definitely think about it. But yeah, it's going to happen no matter what, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, we like the technology, but at the end of the day, we're all here, you know, to make money and purchase assets. Because, like I've said before on previous podcasts, I've been doing a lot of research and digging around, and it turns out that BlackRock is buying all the Bitcoin miners. So at the end of the day, Bitcoin, you know, it hurts me to say this, but Bitcoin is gonna end up being owned by all of these big guys. So, I mean, if we're talking about the technology of Bitcoin as a decentralized infrastructure, that, you know, a network of decentralization, so on, it's not gonna happen. And, you know, and I just explained why. The only thing that Bitcoin and blockchain, in my opinion, right now, because, you know, maybe later Meta One is gonna fix this problem, because Meta One does not allow corporations to buy cryptocurrency. That's the main problem. But the major problem that blockchain solves is the need for transparency. And what do I mean by this? Is like, let's say that you know, you're from the US and I'm from China. And, you know, Chinese people are known for corruption. And you, as an American, you're like, well, I mean, I like your market. You have a lot of people, but, you know, I'm reluctant to jump you know, into business with you because you know, of your reputation. And, you know, it's like, it's a gamble, you know, should I do it or not? And once we add blockchain to the equation, we are replacing the need to trust other people with math, you know, with code. So now I don't have to worry about trusting you because everything is on the blockchain. You know, I don't have to worry about your reputation or anything, because the blockchain is immutable. You know, it's unhackable, and anyone can access the blockchain from any part of the world. So if you ask me, that's a problem that Bitcoin and blockchain are solving right now. But the problem of decentralization and all that, I think, we're gonna hit a wall because, like I said, BlackRock's just gonna end up buying all the miners. They're gonna set up all the nodes, and it's just gonna be very centralized. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why I'm here at Meta. That's one of the reasons why I'm a member of Meta, because I think that that's why the original technology of Bitcoin was created, blockchain. I think it was created as a decentralized way to end corruption, and I agree. That's the issue with Bitcoin, and one of the flaws is that they allow anyone to buy their coin, and the corporations can get into it very quickly, and when corporations can get into something, the giant hand of the institutions and the governments and all that stuff is going to be in there trying to control it in every way possible. um
Yeah.
so absolutely. I mean, is Bitcoin the OG? Absolutely. Do I, give it homage for creating blockchain technology 100%? Because if they didn't,
Yeah.
if Satoshi didn't, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here talking about this, doing this. But I think that we're onto something here at Meta One, and I think that what we have to remember is that the technology is much bigger than just making money, and that it really can help change the world, and that's what we're focused on. There's lots of projects out there that are focused on purely making money, and that's great. Money is awesome, but for me, it's also about changing the world and making it a better place.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100% on everything you said. It's inevitable that it's going to happen, and unfortunately, more centralization is going to take over coins like Bitcoin. But thank goodness there's other alternatives, and Bitcoin will always have a place. I think it always will. But I think
Yeah.
us and others have really built on top of the whole concept, learned from it, taken the good things, thrown away the bad things. And the more and more that we innovate, the more and more that we push forward, and the more and more we have people out there who are really all about freedom and eradicating corruption and in the space, the better. So
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to go away. I mean, Bitcoin is gonna stay here.
yeah,
All I'm saying is that, Bitcoin did his job creating the blockchain and being the first cool kid on the block.
yeah,
But eventually, there's gonna be a cooler kid on the block, like Meta One, or another project, and it's gonna solve problems that Bitcoin cannot solve.
yeah,
It's just like what happened with the Walkman, and then we had the CD player,
yeah.
and now we had iPods, and then it's the same thing. And just to what's the word that you want to like fanatize that Bitcoin because it's the first, and being maxi, that's bad for your way of thinking. That's bad for your brain because you got to be flexible always to the possibility that one day there might be something better, and to the possibility that you could be wrong.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that Bitcoin is great, but it has some flaws, and if we're not able to fix them, eventually someone like Meta One or someone else is gonna come down the road and is gonna could have more value. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go as far as saying that Meta One is gonna have more value as Bitcoin. I mean, I cannot tell you that, but it could happen eventually in the future if we play our cards well. So
I think
we'll
it's
see.
fixed more problems than Bitcoin, and I think that we have a lot of those problems figured out. I mean, volatility, we figured that out. Keeping corporations out of it, we figured it out. I mean, and I think that how we're going to continue to solve these issues is by unifying. We have to come together. We're stronger together, and that's one of the things that I love about our community is that a lot of the people that are involved with our project, they really want to help make a difference in the world, and they understand that it's much bigger than for us than just some meme coin out there. We're really looking to not only solve really serious big world problems. I mean, we talk about it all the time, how much fiat currency sucks and how much we need an alternative.
Yeah,
And I really think that we have one here. And, just like we've talked about before, I think that we're going to be looking at a world down the line that is really focused on many different types of coins. I don't think there's just going to be one
yeah,
coin, but I think that, like, for example, Meta One could be and is, in my opinion, the stable coin that could be used for, transactions by regular humans all over the world. But then we're going to need, like you said, a coin that is like an index coin that we
yeah,
measure everything off of, because what do we measure everything off of right now? Typically fiat, typically the US dollar. And so
yeah,
if we want that to go away, we have to have something to replace it with. Um, Lots of different things. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about blockchain, is that there's so much interlopability. We've come so far in the technology in such a short period of time, and we're just getting started, and the power of it is amazing. So I'm really excited for the future.
yeah, I agree. Absolutely. But anyways, I wanted to share this article with you and everyone. I believe we were talking about this before we jumped on the podcast.
Yeah.
So apparently Chase Bank is going to ban all crypto related payments for the UK. I think also for Americans in other parts of the world. I'm not 100% sure. This article is stating just for the UK, but we'll see how it goes. And I mean, I don't really know what to think about it, because we have all these large corporations and banks one day talking smack about Bitcoin and crypto, and the next day they're like, oh, we love it. And then the next day they're again talking smack. So I mean, it's just a technique that they use to smear projects reputation and people's reputation. And I actually have a very interesting video that I wanted to share with all of you guys. Let me see, or I don't know if you wanted to add anything to what I was
Oh,
just saying, Justin, before I play it. Okay,
yeah, I mean,
so yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think it's a psychological warfare game. I mean, we all know that they all hate crypto with a passion,
yeah,
because they see, we've said this over and
This
over
is what
again.
happens when you
It's
exit
the,
them.
it's their
Pay
death.
close
I mean, it's the
attention.
end of their system. And so I think that they like to play this psychological warfare game, and that's why they go back and forth. One day they're so super happy about it, and the next day they're not. And I think it's a control thing too, right? It's the same
yeah,
that we were just talking about. It's like, we all know what's going on. The banks are working with the government, and the government and the banks are working with companies like Blackrock, and they're using them to get into to infiltrate into the crypto space by buying up all this Bitcoin and buying up all of these miners. I mean, that's what's going on. So,
absolutely.
it's not surprising to me, and I just think, like I said before, us unifying together, and I would say that if there's anybody listening in the UK right now, I would go and shut down your Chase account tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah,
how we can use our power is by who we bank with, who we spend our money with. Those dollars are really important, and we need to send a really clear message to these people that, hey, listen, like, we're not gonna play this game with you. If you want to be a part of on the losing side of history and be a part of the evil, corrupt system, then we're not gonna have anything to do with you. So, and
yeah,
them not taking crypto, especially JP Morgan Chase, is like the
yeah.
least
The irony of
they
the
have. I mean,
century.
they've been involved in, funding pedophile rings and Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, if you want to
Yeah,
start talking about one of the most evil groups of people and organizations on the planet, let's talk about JP Morgan Chase. But
this
you know,
company right here.
it's just icing on the cake, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you're gonna love the video that I'm gonna share with you right now. Just let me know if the audio is available, because I don't know if I clicked on it when we started the podcast. But let me know if you can hear what she's saying.
sure.
And it's a diversionary tactic. It's a self.
Did you hear that?
It's very low. You may have to click the share audio when you share your screen.
Yeah. Let me see if okay, got it. 1 second. Share sound. Got it. I think I was able to locate it. Okay, let me know if you can hear it.
Fulfilling product. You demonize and
Were you able to hear it?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is Nancy Pelosi. You know, she's one of the head panchos of the, you know, of the government. You know, she's one of the masters of Blackrock, and you know, she's like the bridge between Blackrock and the government. So she's, you know, she's like the you know the Queen of England, but of America. So this is her admitting her tactics of deceiving people. So check it out.
and it's a diversionary tactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. It's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble, quite frankly. I love the fray. I'm not, I'm not disrespectful of people's views. I respect any positive things that people want to say, or even negative, as long as it's constructive. But when it's blatantly self-serving and beyond the normal competition that the press so.
Oh, she's going off topic, but I loved, you know, the way she smiles, you know, her body language when she's saying that, you know, with like an evil face, like, yeah, that's what we do, you know, we demonize something, and then, you know, we sell it on the news, we profit from it, and then we rewrite the article, and you know, that's what's going on. And not just for Bitcoin and crypto, you know, I'm sure you and most of our viewers are familiar with like Andrew Tate, Russell Brand, this guy Julian Assange. You know, that guy. That guy is, you know, pretty much the state of the world right now. He exposed all these evil people. He exposed, you know, the pedophilia ring. He exposed that they were murdering people, stealing stuff. And what happened? He ended up in jail. And you know, the Clinton family and you know the Obamas and all those guys, nothing. So I mean, it's incredible. And you know, this video just proves like Nancy Pelosi talking about something they call the wrap up smear, that how they demonize you and then they profit from it.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, these days I feel like they are not hiding anymore. They're just doing everything in plain sight because no one seems to be holding them accountable, and they think that they run the world. So that's exactly what they do to everybody. And it's exactly why you cannot believe a darn word that comes out of their mouth. You can't believe what they say in the press. You can't believe what they say in the courts. Because it's all part of the same corrupt system. And this is what we're fighting against on a daily basis. It's what Meta One fights against. And it's what a lot of others fight against. I mean, you know, like you said, Russell Brand is a great current example of that right now.
That guy's awesome. You know, he's
somebody
he's
who
an angel.
from dark to light. You know, he was a part of their team. He was a promiscuous, crazy guy 10 years ago, and now he has woken up. He's realized that the whole thing is a giant sham that is, you know, built to enslave us, and he's starting to use his 6 million person platform to call out on their shit. And this is what they do. They make up and fabricate these conversations. They fabricate people's anonymous tips. They fabricate documents and all this different stuff, and then they try to cancel you and take you down. And the thing is I think that the world is now catching on, and they're realizing that this is the way it works, and we're not believing it anymore. So, Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the people are starting to see a pattern. It's also like Carlson Tucker, Edward Snowden. There's a lot. If the list goes on, but there's a lot of people that they're doing the same tactic. And at the beginning, the people were like, "Oh well, like maybe he's guilty," but now they're starting to see a pattern. Even Elon Musk. They're starting to attack Elon Musk because apparently, his platform X, which was formerly known as Twitter, he allows people to upload both sides of the story. And if you use a platform like I don't know, like Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, they don't allow you to talk about things like the COVID vaccine or Bitcoin, or they don't allow you to talk about things that are not the current narrative. They'll delete your account, they'll ban you, but on X, you're allowed to do so. So they're also attacking Elon Musk right now, and there's a war right now between the deep state, the people that want to control you, and the people that just want to fight for freedom, including us. Even
Yep.
the government is attacking us, the system is attacking us, and why? Because we're fighting for you, we're fighting for the freedom, and it's all just manipulation. Like, well, what we just saw Nancy Pelosi saying, you're just smearing people's reputation to make you think that we're the bad guys, but in reality, they're the bad guys. They own the media. They own CNBC. They own Fox News. They own the New York Times. They own the Economist. And don't take my word for it. Just go on Google and who owns CNBC. You're gonna see BlackRock and Vanguard. Yeah, who owns Fox News? BlackRock and Vanguard. Who owns Moderna and Pfizer? BlackRock and Vanguard. So just do your own research, draw your own conclusions, and you'll see what's gonna happen. Stop listening to them because they're all just lying, and
Yeah.
you're gonna. Yes, it makes no point.
Exactly. I mean, that's what you have to see past is that it's like they can say all these things, they can do all these things, and they have this unlimited power. So even if they throw some kind of evidence in your face, I mean, this happens to people all the time where it's like, oh, look, there's actual evidence of this. But if you look a little closer, you'll see that this evidence is fabricated. I mean, let's just take one of the most famous examples of this, which is the Steele dossier, right? This document that was created and was signed by 52 three-letter agency intelligence agents, basically saying that this dossier was real and that Russia was meddling in our elections, so on and so forth, and Trump was involved in all this stuff. Well, we find out a few years later that they made it all up. So
Yeah,
these people will do nothing to continue to push their agenda. And again, that's why I said we're stronger together. United we stand, divided we fall. And the more that we come together, the more that we realize this, and the more that we work towards freedom, we will be able to accomplish that. So, yeah.
I agree, and we're gonna get there. It's a war we're fighting, and I really believe, I feel it in my heart that eventually we're gonna come on top of this victorious. But anyways, in other news, I just wanted to share real quick that Bitcoin was just recognized as a digital currency in Shanghai. So this is incredible news for the market, incredible news for Bitcoin. And this is pretty much Asia. This is China, so this is the place where Bitcoin was banned. They were talking that Bitcoin was the devil and all that, and now out of nowhere, it's a recognized currency over there. So it's incredible in my opinion. Bitcoin is getting some massive adoption, not just the ETFs, but it's getting recognized as a digital currency. And it's great in my opinion. I think it makes me very happy. And finally, I just wanted to share a quick article where JP Morgan has been talking a little bit of smack about Ethereum. He's been saying that he's been very disappointed since the Shanghai upgrade. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit because I kind of agree with him. I don't feel like this Mac being talked about Ethereum is to it's partial. He actually is talking about something that I've noticed on the Ethereum network. So back since 2017, after the bull market, we were having some issues with the Ethereum network that it had bottlenecks, and whenever we had these bottlenecks, in order to get a transaction to go through, people were paying $100, $200, and they Vitalik, the creator of Ethereum, he was saying like, oh, this issue is going to be fixed after Shanghai and all that. And it's been, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years after 2017, and we still have the same issues. We still have the bottlenecks. The other day there was like a craze for the NFTs, and I saw gas fees go all the way up to $500, and the network is not as quick as he was promising it to be. So I agree a little bit with JP Morgan, where I don't think Ethereum is the greatest technology out there. I think that there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think that in the next bull run we're gonna see new blockchains like Solana, Phantom, or Meta One. They're gonna end up eating the lunch from Ethereum, because Ethereum is, if you ask me, it's very updated and it doesn't work. I don't know if you have any comments on that.
Yeah, man, for sure. I agree. I mean, and like you said, they just keep on saying that they're going to do this, and it just
Yeah,
doesn't seem like they're going to do it. I mean, I don't know. It may just be that really the truth is that they actually can't do it, and they just are trying. They keep on trying to make it
yeah,
happen, but it's not happening. I don't know, but I mean, I think the cool thing about Ethereum is that they created the smart contract. That's really amazing tech. I think a lot of their ecosystems are really interesting, but I think that they are hitting a wall with scalability because of this issue. And there's
yeah,
it's just so people just don't want to pay 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, even $100 sometimes to send a transaction. I mean, when you're an artist and you're trying to mint an ETF, and you catch the network on a congested bad day, you don't want to spend $60 to mint your ETF or $100 to mint your ETF. It's nuts. So
yeah. Absolutely. And not even ETFs, I'm sorry, NFTs. If you go to Starbucks and you want to pay your coffee, with Ethereum, and the transaction is $20 and the coffee is like $4 or $5, I mean, it makes no sense. If we compare it to Meta One, where you use a transaction, it costs like a fraction of a penny. So I mean, it does not make sense to use a platform like Ethereum. I mean, I don't agree with Ethereum at all, and I think that Vitalik is just doubling down, saying that we can fix it, we can fix it, we can fix it, and I just think that eventually they're gonna realize that this issue has no fix. That they have to start again from scratch, and I guess that's the issue right now, that they don't want to admit it, because the price of Ethereum is gonna crash, and it's gonna be chaos. A lot of people are gonna lose money. I don't know, maybe they could just fork the chain and create a new chain and just transfer the value from one to another one. I don't know, but I personally think that the Ethereum blockchain is not the way to go. I think it's very slow. The gas fees are very high, and we'll see how it goes. We still have like 2 years for the end of the next cycle, and we'll see if all these layer 2 solutions and side chains and Cancun upgrade and all that, we'll see if it works, but I don't think it will.
yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's this is all the journey, and we're just getting started
Yeah,
on it. So I'm appreciative to everybody in the blockchain space who's
yeah,
positively contributing, and we'll see what happens for sure.
I could be wrong. I mean, I that's just my 2 cents on the matter. But I feel like there's a lot of new technologies emerging. Like Solana, Phantom, Meta One, and
Yeah.
I think that these new companies they're gonna be the solution. Even Binance, I feel like Binance is everything that Ethereum was not able to be, because not even just as a blockchain, but also they have a business that works. You know, the Binance Exchange, it generates revenue, and you know, it's, I don't know, in my opinion, it's just better than Ethereum.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. And, you know, not only that, that's one of the reasons why we chose Binance Smart Chain for RapNet 1, because also,
Yeah,
like, it's super fast and it has extremely low gas fees, and the gas fees are very low. I mean, it's the same thing with our network. You know, it's like
yeah,
it costs a fraction of a penny right now to send Meta 1, and that's the way it should be. We can't scale to the level that we want to scale in the blockchain community if we have these super high gas fees. So yeah, man, for sure.
cool. And that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know, Justin, do you have anything else you want to share?
No,
Anything you want
that's
to?
it. Appreciate everybody joining us today. Just continue to fight the good fight for freedom. That's really important. You know, I shared a quote with the team this morning. The people are the only legitimate fountain of power, and that's James Madison. I truly believe that. We have the power to change. We have the power to really shift the narrative and shift the way that the world is going, and we do it together. So, you know, I think what's important for us to remember is that we're all on the same side. It's really us versus, you know, this very small group of people who want to try to control all of us. And we have incredible technology like blockchain that can destroy that and that can really help to restore freedom back to humanity. But we have to be the ones to do it. So let's come together and make something happen. What about you, Fernando? Any words?
Absolutely. No, just I mean, you couldn't have said it better. You know, we're making it happen, not just you know, all the other blockchains, you know, Meta One. We're fighting for your freedom, and hopefully, you know, the bull market's gonna begin soon enough. And you know, yeah, we're just hopefully we'll just see a much better world in the coming years.
Yep, absolutely. All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us out. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.